Hey everyone.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
Hey Sev. Cool. Some very interesting profile pictures. There's a crab. There's a Delaware Steam Academy. Awesome. Hey Giv.
Hello, hello.
I like your library. Really.
This here,
Yeah.
it's real. Someone asked me if it's a wallpaper, but it's a real. It's actually my wife's library.
Would love to come visit you actually at some point.
Sure.
It's not too far from San Francisco actually.
No, it's like when there's no traffic, it's a 20-minute drive.
Yeah. Hey Adam, Aaron. Let's see who else. What are the names?
Hi guys.
Hey.
Hello, hello.
Hey Boris. Hey,
Hey, what's going on?
I'm just the greeter now. Hey RJ. Hey Tony.
Hey.
Bio Art says hi everyone. There's Bio Art. Yeah, there you go.
All right.
And Adam. Hey Adam. So
Check. You can hear me?
yes, we can hear you.
Cool.
Hey Devon.
Hi. All right.
We need to have like some fun competition for best like Zoom background or something.
Oh yeah. Mine's my room.
Yeah.
Actually, I got these like little things I can try to do here. Watch. I can set the background to something really cool. Hold on. Where do I do that at? I forget.
Video virtual background on the bottom.
That's right. Here we go. Okay. Yeah.
That's a classic one.
That's a good one.
I like the animated ones.
Something that fits harmony is, I think, like this is our style right here. This is.
Does the tree
is
count? The real one?
Yeah, the real tree.
There we go.
Everyone's bringing out their fancy stuff. Brian says 12 a.m. in Malaysia. Thanks for staying around.
Oh wow.
And Mario has a very interesting profile image. I assume that's actually your like, you know, professional headshot. That's the real you.
Oh wow.
That's my mugshot, yeah.
It's an NFT.
We should actually make a NFT for all the dev captains.
Oh, that'll be cool.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Your wallet. Yeah.
It'll be all of us on a boat, and we'll be like pirates or something. We'll be captains of like a ship.
I think we
Seb had a
Funny
pirate thing going on a minute ago.
It's like a standard filter.
I don't know. I just clicked through it and I was like, I see the preview, but it was live. I was a little bit shocked, but okay.
Okay, cool. I think
This is
we're
so bright.
Mhm. You
Way
have some
better.
Chinese on your t-shirt. I just saw them. Just noticed it. Yeah, Mr. Coder Sensei. Oh, I see. I get it.
It's my
Okay.
old. I was like,
That's a good one. Okay, I think
what they
we're
did. They
yeah, I think
I was-
we're 5 minutes in. We can maybe just get started with with I'll get it kicked off, but I definitely want to turn this over to Give in a couple minutes to kind of welcome the dev captains. As we said a couple times on Twitter and hopefully on the forum, we've been actively recruiting our dev captains to kind of help us shape the next part of the journey. And it's really up to them to work with us and, develop this developer community, not just with you guys here, but like, it's really great to see a few hundred people on Telegram, a few hundred people on our, just the Reddit sub channel for developers. And so we really want to, this is the perfect time actually with our 2-year anniversary coming up. And as hopefully some of you already know, we have a large hackathon coming. Well, we have a hackathon now with Gitcoin, which is $300,000 of open bounties. And then we have another one starting in July with signups where it's going to be focused around DeFi and FinTech. So we're very excited about all these things, all these initiatives. I think there's a lot of work that probably needs to go into the experience, the documentation as well. And those are all the things that we're really excited for our dev captains. Actually, we for those of you who were on the call yesterday, we took a screenshot of our call and put it in our team internal Discord just to, cheer everybody on the team up. So we're super excited for this journey with all of you guys, and whether you're a dev captain or just, interested. So I think with that, we can turn it over to Give for, most of the rest of this call.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Great to see you all again. So yeah, we've had an exciting week. Yesterday, we met with all the team captains. Internally, we're just pumped to have this new team who's going to really help us scale our community efforts and really just make our dev community even better than it is. So I was hoping we could just have the dev captains. I know some are not here, but for those who are, it'd be great if you could just spend 20, 30 seconds just introducing yourselves, and then we can take it from there. Who wants to go first? Tony, you're first on my list.
I can. Thanks. Hi, everyone. My name is Tony. I'm a software developer. I'm mostly focused on JavaScript, so I like JavaScript a lot. I work with PayPal, and I've been working with PayPal for like 3 years. I'm happy to join and contribute whatever little skills I have left to the Harmony project. I find it very interesting, and I think it's a brilliant thing. I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to be part of it. Yeah, and I'm happy to help the developers.
Awesome. Good to have you, Tony.
Thank you.
All right, who's next? Sev.
Hi, I'm Seth or Severin. I'm from Germany. Yeah, I have a master's degree in computer science, and also like working since 2017, primarily in a institutional context like with the university. And I'm also primarily in web development. I'm doing Node.js, Vue, stuff like that. And I'm kind of new to all this Web 3.0 stuff. And I'm also still learning. And yeah, I'm excited to be here. I love the community, and nice to be here.
Great. Good to have you. All right, who's next? Adam.
Hi guys, I'm Adam, Python developer, native Python coder. I work in biotech company at the moment. We are doing some cancer samples analysis and basically just suggesting the therapy for cancer. In free time, I do this. So just recently, I started to be interested a little bit more in blockchain, and yeah, I'm really excited to be here and to help you guys. So that's me.
Awesome. Great. Bruno.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, I think I met everybody here in this meeting, I guess. Some are news, but I saw the name already in the Telegram. So yeah, my name is Bruno Alves, or Bruno Marshall. I have a PhD in mechanical engineering. So my let's say my specialization is physics, not so much developer, but yeah, that was my path in the last 2 years, to help Harmony and to develop products. And yeah, that's why I'm here. I want to be, let's say, to keep engaged with projects. As I said yesterday in the meeting, it's the most fun thing. It's this human interaction. Yeah, and I'm sure that we'll have a lot of fun.
Awesome. Great. Who's next? I can't really tell from the screen names. Who wants to go next?
I can go next. My
All
name
right.
is Aaron Krieger. I'm a full stack senior software engineer at a startup company owned by American Family Insurance. I'm super excited about Harmony and the technology it brings. I think the fact that it's eco-friendly and ever evolving is super cool. And I look forward to helping the community by educating my skill sets and giving out information I can to improve the growth. So thank you for having me on board.
Great. Good to have you, Aaron. Anyone else?
I can go.
Let's go.
All right. Hey guys, my name is Dylan. The name and the thing that I got in the background is it's Chaotic Beauty. And that's actually our artist collective that me and my team, who I actually have on a Zoom call, on another Zoom call, and they're right here sitting with us. These are my guys. We're best friends, and we all helped each other make our little own artist collective. And we started developing projects for NFT and for Harmony about a year ago. And then before that, I was an artist, and then I taught myself how to program. And ever since then, I've been teaching people at the Delaware STEM Academy and at multiple institutions how to program in Python, JavaScript, Java, and C#. And self-taught, and I love Harmony, and I love the direction it's going in. And we believe that we can do some creative initiatives that will educate people in a really positive way. So I'm excited to be here, and so are they. So
Fantastic. Good to have you, Dylan.
mhm.
Okay, who we left out? Anyone else? I think that's all the captains. Yeah. So thanks everyone. It's so exciting to have you here. We were chatting internally yesterday, really trying to figure out, okay, well, we've got this fantastic team now. How do we help them succeed so that Harmony as a community also succeeds? And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be sharing with you, our top priorities, developer priorities for the next 3 months. We're going to be documenting that. We'll share that with everyone. So you'll have visibility into our main areas of focus. There's going to be three main areas. Again, I will share this with you in the next day or two. And the developer captains are going to be reviewing this list of priorities, and they're going to be kind of aligning themselves with a particular column or a particular area that they're interested in, or they feel their strengths can be best utilized in those areas. And this is really going to allow us to understand the milestones that we're going to be able to reach in the next 3 months. And we're looking for feedback from you guys to see how we can best kind of prioritize. We're going to attempt to list all the areas that we feel are important, but you're the developers. You know better than anyone else how these items should be prioritized. So it'll be a collaborative process, and the dev captains are really going to kind of help us execute. So keep an eye out for that. We're working on that, and we'll share that with you shortly. That's it for the dev captains. Lee, anything else you wanted to add there? What's the hill?
I'm good on my side. If any of the dev captains want to add more to that as well, actually, this is actually your forum to do so.
All good. Everyone's in agreement. Good stuff. Yeah. So like I said, we're just getting started here, but we obviously welcome any kind of feedback you have on how we can, best utilize this awesome team of dev captains. So I guess we can now open it up to any questions outside of the this first part of the meeting.
I have a question.
Sure.
Just so I understand, we're going to be going to a handful of communities outside of Gitcoin and outside of GitHub. Is there other areas that we're approaching as far as the bounties or talking to the developers that are working on these projects? Is there like a separate thing that we communicate to you guys on, or is it we're just gonna like communicate on Telegram solely?
Yeah, look, it's going to be, so our developers are everywhere, right? We have many communities, be it on GitHub, be it on our Discord. So really, one of the asks here is that we, now that we have you wonderful people to help us out, is to kind of go far and wide and see where those pockets are, like where can we best reach out to developers, how we can share our bounties, collect information, anecdotal information, issues that maybe developers are having that they're discussing on a, I don't know, on a Twitter thread somewhere. The community is disparate in that sense. So that's why having this extended team of captains is really going to kind of help us better understand and listen in on what the developers are doing. So no, there's no one single place.
I think there's a question in the chat from BioArt, if you want to take that.
A learning path for newbies. Is that a specific question about developers wanting to build on Harmony?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a great question. And in fact, I think Adam this morning is starting to work on a bounty to help bootstrap, very timely, perfect for newcomers who want to dive in, and instead of having to work things out with various repos and going through documentation, they can use this kind of scaffolded application, pull it down, deploy it, and just start playing with it, right? And obviously we're working on improving our documentation. Ganesh here is working hard kind of improving our docs, and obviously our dev captains are going to play a big role in really kind of figuring out where the areas of improvement are with our documentation, our onboarding process. But yes, the goal really here is to just make life easier for both newcomers to the platform and even experienced developers, and kind of help them scale. All right.
Ganesh, I think you're saying something, but we can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now? Okay. All right, hey, so I have one more question. So as far as creating our own documentation and creating the bounties, is there any, like, do I have to have any kind of like administrative login so that I can create these, or do I just go there and I say that I'm one of the captains, and then I'm telling a certain like portal of people that I am a captain and that I advise that we rewrite it in this way? Is there going to be a draft of how we're going to be going across, so that I'm not just like saying, hey, do this, I don't want to like step on anybody's toes before I just start saying, hey, do this thing,
Yeah, I think Ganesh can fill this one, right? The idea is that we don't want to be a bottleneck, right? Like you shouldn't have to wait for us to make it, a tweak to a part of our documentation. Ganesh, you want to just quickly talk about how folks can contribute to our docs? I think you're having audio problems now.
How about now?
There you go.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, if you guys see, already posted our current docs.harmony.1 is kind of open source where you can directly contribute as a GitHub PR, and it automatically we review and kind of merge it into the doc.
Currently how you guys can still hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this answer your question?
So to my understanding, you're so we can go to the GitHub on Harmony, and then
Actually, in the docs.harmony.1, if you go on the top, there is a GitHub, or in whichever page you are looking at, there is a GitHub icon there. When you click that, it'll directly take you to the respective repository where you can see the pages and directly modify whatever you want to edit and raise a PR, and then we just review it and merge it. It's exactly like same way another open source project work.
Okay.
Yeah, so you could
I
go
can
ahead
share
and
maybe. That is even better, right? If I can share.
I just
There we
yeah, that'd be great.
just links. Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah.
For example, if you guys see here, so harmony.1 on the top, you see GitHub right here. So this is the docs repo where you can find all the, for example, if I want to modify, let's say readme, then this is a bad one. Let's say a faucet, right? So I add something, then I just create a PR, and then we review the PR. Already some people have made some PRs here. So after we approve and merge the PR, it will immediately get into docs.harmony. So we may sync this website with GitHub so that it will be easier to accommodate the contribution from externals.
So
Does that answer your question, Dylan?
one more dimension to Dylan's question, perhaps I can add, is how I interpreted it is, Ganesh, thanks for this demo. This is really how we'll make things work day to day on an execution standpoint. But I think, Dylan, one more thing is we will is going to share, these three kind of, main priorities for the next, 4 to 8 weeks that developer captains would drive. Now, each of the developer captains would probably sign up for some, kind of activities, whether it's improving documentation or, having a weekly developer update, whatever that is. And we'll make that information about which captain is working on what, open and transparent on our discussion forum, doc.harmony.one. So everyone can expect that Dylan's working on this and, this is something that he's driving. So I guess that's also what you're trying to ask, right? How do we coordinate? It shouldn't be all like, hey, I have this idea.
Yeah, no, you're touching so many different things and you're answering a lot of separate questions all at once. Actually, it's that, like, I was confused, like, if I don't want to be working on something else that somebody's already working on, and then, and the fact that you're going to make those titles, okay, we're spreading it out and we're going to all work on one thing. So that's the efficiency that you guys are talking about. And then I also now see how you guys have connected both the doc and the portal together so that we can go there. And we're going to have our roles once we start all sharing our own responsibilities. And we're going to choose those roles soon though, correct?
Absolutely. And another thing, I think this is for everyone to know, is the developer captains will obviously have their own set of internal coordination that may happen on a Telegram group, which developer captains have with the Harmony team. And then we'll try and make most of the conversations, most of the outcomes, and most of the plans open and public on talk.harmony.one, so that everyone knows, everyone can comment. Even if there's a proposal from a developer captain on a particular initiative, that has to make it to talk.harmony.one, so that the entire community knows, there can be a rich communication, etc. So I think we'll have these different layers of communication. And I mean, it's all an experiment to start with, but I think we'll do our best to try and make it worth everyone's time so that there's no confusion and chaos happening. And I think all of us will do our best. And I'm glad that there are people like Bruno here as well, who've done this before with different communities. And I think they can bring their own insights in.
Nice.
Yeah, one call to action, I would say, we try to keep on improve the docs.harmony.one. Right now, you see there are already some improvements, like deploying on Harmony has like several options and some tutorial, and there's also a learn section with the very basic tutorial. What you guys can do is, if you guys feel there's something missing, we want to have a tutorial about this, you can simply, like I mentioned, go to GitHub repo and create a PR, and that's where you guys can immediately start contributing and try to improve the whole doc. The whole document as of now, it mostly cater to very specific, like Ethereum developer kind of, right, who are already sophisticated. We want to gradually also have a section where we try to onboard Web2 developers, give them with like materials like basic Solidity and some like Web3.js understanding and how to get started building DApp. Those materials also can come in, and so that we are able to attract more than just Web3 developers. So those are the sections where if you guys want to contribute, you can, raise a PR. And as I mentioned, we value your time. So for whatever your contributions, we will kind of try to reward you guys and try to make this process more like welcoming and scalable and so on.
So
Yeah.
So that's one of the incentives for as well, on top of the bounties. If someone picks like bigger chunk of documentation, obviously it takes kind of similar amount of time bounty, right? So okay, that sounds good.
But
I'm sorry, go ahead, Tony.
I was going to ask with regards to the documentation. I see this uses JITbook, and I think to do that on GitHub, you need to understand some form of Markdown language specific to JITbook itself.
It's a general markdown language. Like if all these Git book pages are in the form of like MD files. Like if you go here, deploying on Harmony, let's say using hard hat, it's a MD file like markdown.
Yeah.
Just like basically edit this file and submit as PR. Yeah, there is nothing specific to Gitbook. It's a common markdown language.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks. I didn't know that.
I have one question surrounding the bounty. I know that GIF is going to reply to me, but maybe just briefly, if you could tell me how to price the bounties and if you will be involved in that, or can I propose? You know, it's probably like a broader discussion.
Yeah. So the thinking is that, you know, as the creator of the bounty, you should have a rough idea as to how much work is involved, right? So, you know, if you were to build this, how many hours, you know, how many days it would take you, or to be able to really size the effort. And then we're going to have, and you know, we can talk about this, we're still figuring it out. There's going to be an hourly rate, a reasonable hourly rate, depending on the complexity of the project. And then we can kind of use that to calculate what the, you know, the total bounty amount should be, right? And then we'll kind of rely on your judgment to propose the level of effort for that specific bounty. And then we'll kind of take it from there. But again, you know, I'm going to have clear instructions on how to go about creating it, putting a value to it, publishing it, because then there's the kind of the Gitcoin process that needs to be published there as well. And really, like we don't want you guys to have to guess and deal with chaos, right? You've got your day jobs and you've got other commitments that you want to worry about. So we want this to be as smooth and as pleasurable as possible. So we'll work with you to make sure there's no guesswork.
Yeah, I mean, if you kind of know how much effort is needed, you can just put down like, let's say 400 hours. If you don't really know about the amount, you can just put down the hours, and based on that, we can like propose. And if you don't like it, you can increase it and so on. It's like we can exercise the reward amount until we publish it in Gitcoin. And even after that, we can change. But our policy is more like being more aggressive in terms of rewarding, so that we want to attract more and more people into encourage. Like some developer we have seen, after they did one bounty, they ended up doing 4 or 5 more. So that's what we want to like achieve.
Absolutely. And I think one more thing I can add from our past like 6 to 12 months of experience with bounties is that getting 2 things right is difficult. A, getting the bounties with the highest impact that might be taken up with interest. Second is pricing the bounties. So I think right now we would encourage you all to not worry about pricing the bounty. I think in the first few weeks we'll have a good support system for you guys. But finding and surfacing what are the most impactful things which could convert into bounties would be great. Second, having some estimation of hours. Again, it shouldn't be on as a burden. If not, we'll help. Our engineers are going to help figure out, hey, this bounty might take, like Ganesh said, 400 hours, 20 hours, 30 hours, and that's it. The key is to really have our eyes and ears open on what can drive most impact. And I think in probably 2 months' time, guess what? We'll have a very open framework, an Excel sheet, or even an open discussion. Hey guys, this is the policy for Harmony bounties from here on, right? 3 categories or whatever. Price, hourly, bounty compensation would be this much. There'll be, reviewers for estimating the time taken for bounty. We would have that. That's how open communities would work, right?
Could play like a poker. Like we have a Scrum poker at my company. So basically, you just kind of tell your amount without knowing other people, so that you're not biased.
Right.
And then
right.
you take like you agree on some kind of consensus.
Right, exactly. But I think we want to right now in the early days, like not put the burden of thinking about all these things on you guys. Right now, the only number one thing that matters is surfacing bounties that actually drive high impact for developers, for end users. That's it. We'll figure out how much compensation along the way, and over a period of time, it'll be a process.
Cool.
So,
Question.
oh,
So-
go ahead. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
Okay, thanks. So I have two questions. Is one, will it be possible to collapse some of this bounty into smaller bits? And what I mean by that is to have like a full feature split between either a backend service and a front-end service. So that's my first question.
I don't see why not, right? Like if the project is big, too big for one person to work on, I think that absolutely makes sense. But then there's going to be a coordination effort by the dev captains, right, to make sure that the back end aligns with the front end, right? Because then they're going to have to work together. But yeah, I think breaking up big projects into smaller chunks makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, also developers won't have all the skills required if you make it really big project, right? So if you want just front end part to be done separately, feel free to split it. It's the best way to attract more people.
Yeah, cool.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, you're going to have front-end engineers who are very good at the UI piece, right? But not necessarily know enough about building contracts, right? And vice versa. So yeah, that makes sense.
Cool, thanks. My second question is, I don't know if there's an opportunity to look into some of the previous works that were abandoned. Because I think I looked into one of the pull requests that was for the improvement of the Explorer, which I think you're going to release a new version soon. But I'm just giving this as an example to look at some of the old pull requests or old projects that had been done and collapse the ones that we don't need anymore, or resurface the ones that we think are still applicable to what the developers want. That's my
Dinesh,
second.
any thoughts?
I mean, it's up to you guys, captains. If you think a certain thing is like has a high impact, can be made into high impact bounty, feel free to like pull it from the previous closed PRs or any from any source, doesn't matter. And if you also at the same time think certain bounty is not worthwhile or valuable, you can suggest to even like close the bounty or something. There's no, I mean, hard rule as such what can be bounty at this moment.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I would like even if you guys can make it more interactive, like for example, this particular bounty, if you guys like after it goes after it completes this amount part, if you can like publicize and people come here and express their opinion and like try to promote it, it's more interactive, and there you get some sense of like how many people are supporting this in a way.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point, right? You might come up with an idea and you're not sure how valuable it is or how popular it's going to be. But yeah, share it around, find out from
Guys,
the community.
smash that like button.
Exactly, smash the like button. Yeah, you can kind of rely on a tool like that just to see how popular it's going to be.
I have one really quick question. The sometimes the communities that are on Twitter and Reddit and like YouTube and all these places, they have some pretty unique ideas as to what should be a bounty, and sometimes they're not even really software related. They're just, hey, we want this, this network to connect with Harmony because of these reasons that we care about right now. So when it comes to like the community's interest, because they're an ever-changing market and their mind is just so focused on what they're interested in. It's like, well, how do we kind of like take that? It's special, like, but how do we take that and make it something that's tangible for like a developer to kind of actually work on? Because I know that the needs of the public, sometimes it's hard to meet their needs if we're creating demands on the developers that they can't meet. So what's like the fine line, would you say, is like a fine balance of like, you know, saying things that are actually tangible versus just saying things that it's just going to make the audience happy kind of thing?
Yeah, to go first, we can encourage all, like, let's say, non-developer people to express their opinion in either Reddit or even in forum. They create, let's say, a thread and describe what if they think certain things is important, and then developer captains can try to gauge how many people are interested in it, and kind of figure out can we create some small bounties that are like reasonable and achievable in a time frame, and then go ahead and create bounty in the GitHub, and then we can take it from there. So not everything need to like go into bounties. You can like afford to discard certain things or discuss them enough in the forum so that we get everyone's opinion. Even other developers can come in and say this already exists in elsewhere, it should be easy to port. And so all this discussion can happen either in Reddit or in forum. And once there is like some tangible scope, we can frame that into a bounty and one or more bounties. This job can be done by individual developers in the community or developer captains or even Harmony team. All of us can contribute to convert an idea into a bounty. Any further points of view or side?
Well, one thing to add to Dylan's question is we have some bounties that are more product and non-purely technical. And those are like, we have one that's a NFT for all the locations in the world. It's actually Gives bounty. Yes. So there are some like fun things that we can do. Like, you know, we have a bounty for a social game. We have a bounty for porting Pull together as a product over to Harmony. And all these came out of either, like at this point, it's mostly our ideas. But if the community really, let's say the top post on Reddit, you know, one day is like a certain application that people think should be on Harmony, like we can start forming that into a bounty and put it out there. There's actually the most recent one is called One Canvas. I don't know if you guys played the game where you like can change the color of a pixel. There's going to be 1 million pixels on a canvas, and then people, you know, change colors. They draw themselves. They draw things on a canvas. So there's some fun, you know, viral, could be anything, community related things that were also, yeah. I don't want to take it too far into like you know, just fun things to launch, but it's all possible. We just need to curate and make sure that we're still selecting for the, you know, good ideas that have potentially high impact, probably lots of mainnet transactions and lots of utility for the network.
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to add here is that just bear in mind that the areas that you're going to be focused on go far beyond just creating bounties, right? Bounties is just one area that we're going to be focused on, but just improving the overall health of the dev community is going to be key. And so that could be everything from improving the documentation, you know, creating all these tutorials, actually finding issues, right? Listening to developers and finding out what challenges you're experiencing, what bugs maybe they're experiencing. Like so collecting that information is also going to be key. So the reason why I bring that up is I don't want you to be too fixated on just bounties and feel like there's pressure to constantly create bounties. Yes, bounties are critical, but there's a lot more that you will be doing, and I'll list those for you later today.
Yeah, the overall developer engagement. If you can help with, let's say, a certain developer asking a question and he gets some help within a day or two, that's where we can call it success. Rather than that developer waiting for a week or two or even months to get some answer. That's where we kind of see we have failed in a way, right?
And
So
I
that's
think,
where we want to put more focus to improve overall experience. Bounties is one way to grab more and more people into the ecosystem and kind of incentivize their efforts.
and I think one thing that I would like to echo is that the spirit within the Harmony team and even the Pangea community before has been learning by doing, which means that developer captains, I would say, things like everyone should have gone through trying to, deploy an app on Harmony. Or if you don't have the interest or skill, maybe making sure that if documentation or any tool that can work better on Harmony, you take matter in your hands and tell the community this is how you did it. I think that goes a long way in bringing more people versus just talking to people, telling them. Even what Ganesh said, like if 7 people ask about an issue and not enough people have tried it themselves, it'll actually create more, back and forth communication. So my challenge personally to everyone here is, everyone try one application, figure out how a contract works, figure out how all the different tools work. If your node breaks, great. That's the first thing we need to solve. If you can't deploy an application, no one else can, right? I think that's the mindset we need to have versus just thinking about, hey, how do we make everyone good? If we need to take matter in our own hands, right? So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, and we clearly have like an eclectic set of skills here. Folks coming from different areas of Web 2 and Web 3. So put on those hats, like put on a newbie Web 3 developer hat and say, okay, this is my day one with Harmony. I am going to now and build a simple app. What's the first place I do? I go to the documentation. I have no idea how to get started, right? So these are the clues that would kind of prompt you to improve that process, because as we get more developers coming to our community, we want that initial impression to be pleasant, right? We want them to be able to say, okay, this is great. I know exactly how to get started. It's smooth, it's easy, and that's going to go a long way.
And sorry, I'm just going to add to what Jeff just mentioned is also we could, if you can, as the dev captains, if you're going through all of this, you could make a recording and we can push it out there on YouTube or something. Because I think that was one of the issues that I had when I was trying to set up a validator node. There were very few videos out there to watch, but yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up, Tony, because it's funny. I was speaking to Boris about this on the call here. We were talking about how people learn in different ways. Some people are very visual. I personally love videos. When I'm trying to learn something, first thing I do is I go to YouTube and I watch someone build it, right? And that's like the best way for me to learn. Other people, Boris mentioned he likes documentations because he's able to search, right? So that's just a different way. But absolutely, I think if, as well as creating step-by-step tutorials inside our documentation, to also create additional formats like walkthroughs, videos on YouTube, I think those would be fantastic. Anything to kind of make life easier for developers and kind of onboard them is a big plus.
Yeah, right now, if you see the tutorial, it's mostly like screenshots and some instructions, code and so on. This can be easily augmented with a video of doing the same steps, right?
Yeah, sure.
Could we also ask some different questions in this session, or are we going to keep it just strictly dev captain related for now? Because I can ask my question next session.
No, go for it.
So it's actually kind of related to development on Harmony, but the main problem I'm facing right now is the RPC. my team and I were looking on deploying a dApp in Q3. And there's some certain considerations that we have to keep in mind if the Harmony RPC will not be fully functional by then, such as buying an extra server and deploying our own node and stuff, so we can push our own RPC to the customers. But that's very important to know ahead of time for us, so that we can prepare accordingly. So
yeah, like
if you
we
guys
publicly
go ahead, sorry.
like we publicly announced, right? We do care about providing this reliable, stable RPC for majorly like developers and partners to right away use and provide services on top of it. We are not swaying away. We are not at a position where we simply say whoever wants a RPC deploy their own node. Eventually, it will happen at some point. There will be more clients that will provide this as a service like Infura and so on. But right now we are focusing on making our RPC endpoint more and more stable. Like you can see, we have been providing daily updates about what are the fixes we are doing. It is still, I would say, within a week or so, you can expect this to be more stable. And in a week or two, we probably have a better Explorer and so on, which should make your job or life much easier than what it is right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's not only about that, but if you're not obviously not obligated, like 0x said on the Discord group, you're obviously not obligated to offer us your RPC. That's pretty obvious. It's a nice addition, but it's nice to know beforehand so that you can prepare accordingly before you launch your dApp on Harmony, so that all of a sudden the RPC crashes and no one can be there for the launch and no one can buy anything. So
yeah, we have set up monitors as well, and we will be kind of ensuring the reliability of the public RPC endpoints. Sahil, anything?
Yeah, Mario, the short answer is you definitely can depend on public endpoints, and we're beefing them up. We're adding new. We're also creating, in the shorter term, whitelisted endpoints for partners which have high volume DApps, so that there's reliability. And you're absolutely right. I think over a period of time, these will become public services which anyone can provide. Even if you're a validator with a full node, you can provide an endpoint, if at all, and work out a business model. But in the shorter run, we care the most about making sure any developer does not need to worry about running their own node and having their own endpoint. So this Monday, we started announcing some of the improvements we're making, and hopefully, I think by sometime next week, you'll see everything being smooth, back in action, and reliable. So that's something our team's taking very seriously at the moment.
great, that answers my question. Thank you very much.
I think we missed the question. There is
William, so your audio.
Yeah, William, we couldn't hear you.
Maybe you can type the question in the chat if we have audio problem.
I think you forgot your voice modifier on, William, because
Maybe your kids have been messing around with with your Zoom.
Yeah, any questions, you guys can also post it in the forum where dev captains can come in and try to answer, or even team.
Oh, and also, is there any way to get in contact directly with the dev captains? Do they have a Discord that we could join, or is it just a global Harmony Discord where we can ask questions directly to the dev captains?
Right now, I would say best place would still be forum, and then dev captains also are going to monitor the two Discord channels, has developers and has development. and they will also monitor Telegram developer channel, and possibly Reddit. But my recommendation would be we try to channel everything into the forum so that it is easier for developer captains to kind of find everything in one place.
Right.
Or
Right.
can we
Okay.
maybe create a role
Yeah.
for the developer captains? Then the people
yeah.
can tag at captains.
Yes.
Something like
Sure,
that.
sure.
That would be
Oh,
easy.
Absolutely. All of these things will be done in the next 2-3 days. Dev captains will be officially introduced on the forum so that you can just actually reach out to them on the forum, and also on the Harmony developer community group on Telegram and on Discord. We'll make sure all of them are there on these groups. On Discord, we'll create the tag like Seb mentioned. So yeah, all of this, we're going to make sure it's in action.
May I have a quick question?
Yeah.
Just a quick question. I'm curious about how many working on the next bridge, and if yes, may I know which network will Harmony bring next?
Right now, we have bridged Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Polkadot, and BTC to a certain extent. And based on like demand and popularity, we are going to keep on bridging. And there will be multiple bridging solutions to certain network as well, based on like different security model and different cost model. For example, for Ethereum, you may find Harmony have multiple bridges. So which network specifically need not always come from us. If community, let's say, wants a bridge to Phantom or some chain, they can bring it up and drive the whole process. As of now, our main concentration is like a BTC, Ethereum with a more cost-effective, trustless bridge solutions. And you will hear more about some announcements soon too, which I don't want to disclose everything.
What about
thank you.
Cardano?
Cardano.
Is that somehow in plans by any chance?
For sure. I think definitely. But let them first get a smart contract platform, which will make it easier to build bridge.
Nice.
We have a couple of questions. Globy NFT, I believe you put your hand up first.
Afternoon, everyone. Yeah, my question, and I apologize for the baby in the background. My question really was more kind of going off of some of the stuff that we've seen over the past couple of days in regards to the rollout of some of our DAOs and the layout for that. Has there been any discussion in terms of sort of the bridge building process, whether that be like a subsidiary DAO or and interfacing with the developer captains in terms of bringing that sort of communication from like the community DAO or the validator DAO to bring that to, you know, if it is something like you guys were mentioning earlier, where it's maybe a community post on Reddit that's gaining a lot of traction in terms of what needs to be, maybe not even getting it into a bounty program, but bringing it to a more centralized place to discuss it, whether it be Talk.Harmony or you know, our Telegram groups or even Twitter. You know, there's a ton of places there. So has there been any discussion on whether that's going to be something that's going to be put into a separate DAO for public discussion and voting, or is it something that more or less, has there been any discussions in that regard, I guess is the question.
In future, yes, after we establish developer DAO, and there will be other DAOs that would probably need to communicate or work with each other to escalate some of these requirements and try to obtain consensus. But right now, there is no such process, at least from my understanding. It's mostly like if you see some of the bounties are also related to bridge, right? If I say here, you see that there is a cello one, there is some bridge to the BTC, and there's also Terra. So all these are from like based on requirement. We just went ahead and created. So right now the small process is lightweight, where if you see some requirements surfacing up in other community DAOs or somewhere, developers captain or any developer can come here and kind of like make a case for it. In future, we will probably put forth a bit more scalable approach.
So yeah, just to add, I think right now it's kind of more of an informal process, but when the validator DAO and the community DAO, let's say they actually vote on some project and they would allocate budget from the validator DAO itself, or let's say the validator DAO wants to get, one-click node deployment for Google Cloud, and they want to create that into a bounty, and they're willing to fund it. Then I think for sure the dev captains will just pick it up, create it into a bounty, and then run with it, and it will actually get funded by the validator DAO. But all these like process mechanism, I think we're still early days in terms of how that looks. So right now it's more like informal, just based on human judgment, I guess. And then once we get more process with the DAOs and their voting process, then yes, I think that there will be a lot more things that come out of it in terms of projects that the DAOs are actually pushing. But yeah, like very soon, I think that's going to happen.
Dylan, last question.
Yeah. So because of our experience, and in my personal life, people are coming up to me and asking me if I can make all these things for them, and they're coming with no development experience, but they're asking if for example, there's this company that was they're called Common Lands, and they're trying to develop their own smart contract for their real estate business. And I was advising them because they were looking at Polkadot for developing this whole thing that they want to do. And I advised that they look at Harmony, and they asked me to review the white paper with somebody where I could talk to someone, and then they wanted somebody from Harmony to help them do it. So that's my question is, I guess, is if people are coming to me or anybody here with an actual project in mind, they have funding, they have something solidable, what do we do? Do we is it still a bounty, or do we have to direct that conversation to somebody who's obviously more equipped to handle that? What do we do with that situation, or what would I do even with this situation?
I think Lee can answer this, but just quick one thing is it is less of a bounty, more of like a matchmaking between the people who want certain project to be done and developer interest, trying to mash together and see if we can produce something out of it, right? So we were thinking about this. I think some kind of incubation DAO or something like that. But I would say it is separate from the bounties. At this moment, bounties is more like there is a consensus about certain thing missing or importance. Everyone agrees, kind of. Those should be more bounties than a particular person want to build XYZ. That right now, not really like 100 people care about it. More, only that person is more care. So I would say it's less likely would succeed as a bounty. Lee, anything to add?
Yeah, I think, if it's just one, we can help. I think those are probably like going to be answered by the community, because the team won't be able to scale to like supporting all those ideas. But I just usually, when I see someone asking, I point them to actually join the developer community on Telegram first, and probably go to the forum, even post their ideas. I would say it's like still up to it has to be more self-organizing and organic, as opposed to like us. But if there's like a lot of demand for a certain idea, we can bubble that up basically to the team.
Yeah, I understand. The main worry is like I mean, the matchmaking, right? Like what ensures that a product owner is going to like pay the developer once he delivers it, and what ensures whether developer will commit to completing the work. So that process itself is not defined yet. I mean, we can propose something. If you guys interested, you can start a thread about it, and we can see if it is feasible. We can fully support and kind of like initiate the whole thing. If that answers your question.
So I actually have to run, but Give, I'm gonna let you be the host and do the wrap up for today.
Yeah, I think we're running a little over. If there are no other questions, we can kind of let you all go. If you come up with any other follow